Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a review, first impressions, and demo of the brand new Hourglass Seamless Finish Foundation Stick and the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Foundation Brush. I was given both of these by Influencer to test out and review for you all and for them. The foundation is in a nice sturdy plastic container, and it is in the triangular shape, which I thought it was kind of interesting. It closes securely and nicely, which I like. You can just toss it into your makeup bag and you're pretty much set to go. The foundation is 0.25 ounces and it retails for $46. It is a revolutionary foundation stick with the coverage of a concealer, the fluidity of a liquid, and the weightlessness of a powder for undetectable full coverage. And there are several features and benefits of it. It doubles the amount of pigment versus traditional foundations for instant full coverage. Formula adjusts to body temperature to blend into your skin for the smoothest, most seamless finish. 12-hour long wearing waterproof formula, available in 26 shades. The Hourglass foundation brush also retails for $46. It has nice angled bristles, very dense and firm, and very soft as well. It is a high-performance PETA-approved foundation brush designed with the ideal shape, density, and texture to achieve the most seamless finish. So let's jump into the demo and see how it applies on me. I feel like today is a good time to test out this foundation because, first of all, I do have some active breakouts going on. Some of these active breakouts have dry spots to it. My forehead is pretty good, and other places are pretty good also, so I think it's a perfect time to test out how well this foundation will appear for pretty much everybody, whether you're oily skin, dry skin combo. I've got it all going up on my face right now. It says the first thing to do is to prep skin with Veil Mineral Primer. Conveniently, I do have it in a tiny little sample size here. So I'm going to apply this over everywhere on my face. Next, it says to apply 2 to 3 dots of Vanish to each section of the face, forehead, cheeks, and chin. And you start with less and add more as necessary. On half of my face, I'm going to use the Hourglass brush, and on the other half, I'm going to use my Real Techniques buffing brush and see if there's a difference. And then on my forehead, I'm going to use a beauty blender. And it says to buff in with the Vanish foundation brush in tiny circular motions for the most seamless finish. So after applying the first mini coat, I feel like it did nothing for me. So I'm going to have to go back in to make it more full coverage. It covered a lot of my scarring, but I feel like it could probably do a little bit better. Like, I would probably call this a light medium coverage. Now I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I buffed it in like I normally would any other foundation. It looks about the same, so that's good. Now I'm going to do my forehead with the Beauty Blender. With the Beauty Blender, I feel like if you want a light coverage, it does really well with it, and I'm pretty impressed with all 3 methods of applying. And the fact that it is like a concealer, I'm going to go back and conceal underneath my eye, wherever there's redness. It's probably just a slight bit too light for me, but overall I think it's pretty good because I can always warm up my face with bronzer, with powder, and so forth. Here is my dry patch over here, and I think it did an okay job with it. It still looks a little dry, but that's okay. In the video that I watched on Hourglass website, they did set it with the Hourglass Ambient powders. So I'm going to take my ambient powder in Dim Light and set my face with that. The fact that I'm pretty much almost set is pretty good, but I just want to add a bit of the setting powder with this. Let's take a picture to see. Unfortunately, I did see a little bit of white cast going on. I don't know if it's maybe because it is a little bit too light for my skin or what the reason is, but I do see a bit of a white cast. I'm going to apply the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. It is 5:19 p.m. and I'm going to be wearing this throughout the evening just to see how it works and how it goes. So let me just give you my first impression thoughts on it. It's a really cool concept. I think that it does pretty good in covering up some acne scars. Some blemishes are still there, but even then I don't fully cover them anyway, so I think this is pretty good for me at least. For the coverage that I get, I feel like I have nothing on my skin at all whatsoever. It feels very light to the touch, very lightweight, so it is true. It blends nicely like a fluid. It sets very nicely like a powder, and it does conceal pretty well. So I think that those claims definitely did work. I did set with the Hourglass Dim Light, and it continues to give it like a nice soft look. It's not a matte look at all. The foundation, I would say, is a nice velvety finish. The only issue that I have, I don't know if it's because I got a light shade or maybe it's because of the formulation, but it does have a flashback, and I do think it is because it is so fair on me because there's no sunscreen in it. Like I said, in flash photography, I look a little bit ghostly, and that's even with powder on and bronzer and blush, and I still look a bit ghostly, but that's fine. At least in real life, it looks nice. A little light, but still pretty much nice. I'm going to wear it throughout the day, see how it looks on my skin throughout the day, and I will check back with you guys later. It is now 11:05. So after wearing it for around 5 to 6 hours, I can tell you that my blush is still there. It rubbed off a little bit on my nose, and I didn't really touch my nose a lot. I did get oily, like right here, and I do have a bit of oiliness on my cheeks as well. My forehead is on the oily side, and I pressed my fingers and I did get some like oil on my hands. It doesn't look like I'm oily. It looks more like dewy oily, but more on the dewy side, so it doesn't look bad. Like on my cheeks it looks pretty nice, but on my forehead was just a little bit too much sheen going on there. The foundation does transfer a bit, especially when you're on the oily side. So when I was talking on the phone, it did leave a little bit of foundation on there. I don't feel oily at all whatsoever, and there are some foundations that I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel the oil, but this one I feel like there's nothing on my skin whatsoever. Unfortunately, the footage from the previous video got deleted when I was trying to edit it, so I'm going to go over the part that was missing. The foundation I think is a really good foundation, blends in easily and seamlessly, and it also is a buildable coverage foundation, and it feels like there's absolutely nothing on my skin, which is awesome too. The only issue that I had was the fact that it kind of did pool in my nose area. However, any smile lines that I had, it did not gather in there, so that's good. The foundation did give a little bit of flashback when I took the pictures, but I think that is due to the foundation being a little bit too light for my skin, since it is a high concentrated pigment. Whatever color is there will be on your face. There's no wiggle room for it. So I had to set it with a powder that matched my skin tone, and it worked from there. I don't think it's necessary to purchase the Hourglass brush to get an effective blend of the foundation. I blended in the same with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush and the Complexion Sponge. So I think any method is probably good to blend it in. When I was doing the review for you guys, I did use my Real Techniques sponge to absorb any of the oil that I had on my face, and it did a good job at doing that. So if you blot throughout the day, you'll be fine. It won't disrupt any of the makeup going on. The finish is, I would say, velvety. I wouldn't say it's full on matte, but it is a velvety finish. I did notice that it clung to my dry patches, so make sure that you exfoliate and moisturize that area so it doesn't cling to them. The rest of my face was good. They say this foundation is for everybody, but just make sure that I think this will be better for normal to oily skin tones. Dry skin can get away with it, but you have to really exfoliate and moisturize before you apply it. But my face feels very seamless. It feels like there's nothing on my face at all whatsoever. I did use a different primer today. I did not use the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. I used the Benefits POREfessional. It was easy to glide on, so there's no issues there whatsoever. So any primer will be perfectly to use with it. I think that is it for the first impressions review and demo of this foundation and the brush that comes along with it. If you have any further questions, let me know down below and I will answer them for you. All right, I will see you guys later. Bye.